It's also been claimed that during this incident, the suspect yelled anti-LBTQ plus words at management. The first time we heard that was in the viral social media posts. No one brought that to our attention on the scene. The officers had no comment on that in the reports. The body camera video that we reviewed also had no references to that. So there was no hate crime even considered at that point. It wasn't until days later or weeks later that that came forward in that social media post. When the incident occurred that evening, the supervisor on scene, looking at the totality of the facts that were present, made a determination not to make an on-site arrest and to follow up the investigation further and then apply for an arrest warrant. Once the decision was made not to make an on-site arrest, then a warrant had to be applied for. We can't make an arrest afterwards without the warrant. And in order to get the warrant, the officers were hoping to get statements from the victims, sworn statements, gather the video from the bar, review that, contact any other witnesses, and get all the details to make sure that they had a proper investigation done. And once they did that, apply for an arrest warrant, which was what was done the other day. This is still an ongoing case. Although the suspect was arrested, it doesn't end here. If we get new information, if we get evidence that another charge is appropriate, then we'll follow that up, contact the prosecutor's office, and ask that the charges be amended or new charges be added. So we're asking the public, any witnesses that were there that have firsthand knowledge, to let me know, let us know, and we'll be glad to follow it up. We want to follow it up.
The suspect, after the incident occurred, was he in fact transported to the hospital rather than to headquarters, and was he taken by ambulance or by patrol car?
I don't think he went to the hospital, correct?
He was seen and treated on scene and refused medical attention. He refused to go to the hospital.
Okay, yeah.
So was he in fact taken into custody at that point?
He was located not at the scene. He had fled the scene about half a block away. He was chased by someone. At that point, the officers responded to that location. They did take him into the car, brought him back to the scene to begin the investigation, find out, sort out what happened.
And then he was released?
Correct.
Okay, and as far as the degree of assault, is that decided by the police, by the state's attorney, or is that a joint effort? I believe it's assault 3?
Assault third, yeah.
Is that how?
And ultimately, it's the state's attorney's office that determined the level of the charge.
Okay.
Based on the injuries that we're aware of. Again, that can change if we learn that the injuries are more severe.
Did you not get a statement from the victim in this case? Since
Not a sworn written statement.
And when he was interviewed on scene, he made no claims about this being a hate crime?
That's my understanding, yeah, to the officers on scene, correct.
So I'm sorry, if you didn't get a sworn statement from the victim, what were you able to ascertain from the victim? Was it just not? Just
the information at the time that this occurred at the scene.
But what was that information? I guess what did the victim tell you at the scene?
Do you have that specifically? I don't recall specifically what he said to the officers at the scene.
That he was asked to leave the bar after some unruly behavior within the bar, and in the process of being escorted from the bar, a physical disturbance occurred.
So Chief, can you explain, if you don't get a sworn statement from a victim in any case, does that slow down the case, or is that a difficult?
It makes it a lot more difficult, yeah. Generally speaking, when we're making an arrest by warrant, the state's attorney's office requests, basically requires a sworn statement from the victim. In this case, because there was other evidence that was available, the video from the bar, information we got at the scene, the officers typed the warrant anyway. The prosecutor felt that there was probable cause based on the totality of the circumstances to still issue the warrant, despite the fact that there's no sworn statements from the victims at this point.
And why isn't there?
They didn't respond here when the officers had an appointment to have them come in and take a statement. For whatever reason, they chose not to give a sworn statement.
Chief, you mentioned on body cam there was no apparent hate language, but I'm assuming that's body cam from the officers who were...
Correct. That's after the officers arrived. There was no evidence of anybody yelling that this occurred or telling the officers, you know, that he was doing this or doing that. There was no reference to anything like that.